see, I'm always happy when it's a good day. I want to be able to show people that we do live in a country that has sunshine. I was delighted when I looked at your website. Here you are, you've got decades of experience. I've known you for, just to see as a comedian for, 20, 30 years. And yet, you get straight to it on your own website. Your first sentence, like a Spartacus claim, I am Damo. You just want to say to people, okay, I understand why you may have even come here in the first place.
Right, yeah.
But there is that simple fact that for decades before and decades after, you've done a huge amount of work. And I don't know whether it sort of goes in and out of a good feeling about being kind of recognised by a lot of people for one role, or whether it's something you're sort of happy about ultimately. Or
I just accept it now, and I mean, it is a good role. It's a good role. I mean, maybe it's slightly embarrassing that it's just one episode. But yeah, look, I've done loads of things that I'm really just as proud of. Sure. But they haven't become as big. But that's fine.
But one thing I noticed too, that when you played out in Greystones and the Whale, there would have been those, it was a Father's Day night with the great Patrick McDonald. But of course, people might have come for one reason, but they laugh for lots of other reasons, because once you get up on the stage, you know what you're doing. You've got a huge amount of material that's yours and is from your own. So that must be very satisfying, because you kind of know this person might have come out on a date because they saw me in a movie, but they really do kind of have a good time because it's me.
Yeah, like the father's head thing is good, and it's a great way of getting people attracted in an audience, and it's the way I do it. That's what I use. But on the night, of course, I'm not going to be Father Damo. So I do what I can, and do the stand up is mine. And to be honest, I remember when I did Father Damo, just straight after it went out a year later. I think I did an interview in the Hot Press, and they said, "What's your proudest moment?" And I mentioned a gig I'd done up in Belfast. And I remember Graham Linehan ringing me and saying, "I saw that interview on Hot Press," and I went, "Yeah, but it's kind of like I feel that's mine."
Sure.
But it's Father Damo. I didn't write the lines.
Oh, so, yeah. Well, you're playing guitar on a #1 hit, or you're in the band and all. That's great. Like, it's a lovely feeling that you were part of the wrecking crew or whatever you might have been in, but the fact is, when you make your own songs, when you make your own work, that's when it really kind of gives you the biggest kick.
It does.
Yeah. So that fact that you've had, I don't know, I'm trying to think, to go from Toom to Toronto and Chicago and Dubai, all over the world. Was that early on in Galway that you kind of got an inkling, I could possibly do this, or did it all fall into
well,
life?
Not really. I mean, I was actually 5 when we moved from Galway, so no. And I grew up in Meath up to then.
Oh, my sorry.
That's okay, but I was like doing a lot of no, I didn't think I'd make a living out of this. No.
Right.
I maybe try to be a rock star first.
Hey, that's the way. But those days with Paul Tyler, like when I worked in Hot Press now, I would have known you doing a lot of work with Paul Tyler, Nighthawks and John Max and all that. You were kind of, making a name, and you're on the telly. In those days, that was a major achievement.
Yeah.
But I don't know whether that was already a kind of a plan, or whether this was just you having crack with Paul and sort of thing.
No, I think at that stage I wanted. That's what I wanted to do.
Right.
Yeah.
So how did the rock star dream die?
Well, it just died because the band broke up, and I was 25, and at that age of 25, I thought I'm too old to be in the music industry. That's how I felt.
Just a pup today.
I felt incredibly old at 25.
Right.
Yeah.
And what was the name of the band? I'm trying to remember.
Guernica.
Yes,
and we released 3 singles, and
great.
then we recorded an album, but that was never released.
Okay.
Broke up just before we were.
Is that online anywhere now? Do you know?
It's not,
possibly?
But I'm actually looking at releasing it on vinyl, 1,000 copies, with an indie record.
Right. Nice.
Because it's there.
So that idea then of changing gears and realizing that comedy is more successful and obviously very enjoyable, was that kind of a sit down moment with you and Paul, or was it just
I when the band broke up, I kind of went through a little bit of an old mental twist in my head where I was going, what am I going to do in my life? Right. And I was working in a sandwich bar. And
that was your Mama Cass tribute. I think you're always connected to rock and roll in some way. So she died and she choked on a sandwich.
On a sandwich, she did.
So in a way, it was still rock and roll. Like you're still in that world.
It wasn't a fishbone. No,
sandwich. I think.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway.
Yeah. Neither of them are particularly rock and roll.
No.
It's not like fishbone.
Overdose on paste. Pate.
Yeah. So, but look, I kind of thought to myself, I can't do 9 to 5. I just can't do it, and I'm gonna do something like acting or comedy, even if I don't make any money. But I just can't do 9 to 5.
And
so
you are obviously very, very kind of well known now for the stand up, as well as many movies and shorts, Adolf and Eva and South, and I certainly particularly like with Roy, and you've just had a lot. What to me looks like success, or to you is it more difficult than that? Has it been a lot of hard work? Does it just seem like there's Joe again?
Well, I've done a lot of stuff, but I mean I've never been I've never been I can't say I can relax now.
Okay.
But that's good. I mean that's good, because even I reckon if you make millions, you still want to work.
Well, it has to be a hunger involved somehow. It's got to be something that you actually want and need to do, or need, I suppose, is the thing, really. Yeah.
And I don't see myself retiring. You know what I mean? That's just the thing.
Yeah.
It's what I do because I enjoy what I do. So
sure.
So it's not.
I'm always kind of surprised with the way we measure art, and certainly in comedy, there's like, for some people, Father Ted and Mrs. Brown's Boys are exactly the same. They're both hilarious and both wonderful and both kind of Irish. And others, there's a world of difference between them. That one is kind of cool and hip, and the other one is sort of old school, fashion, whatever. I mean, I don't know if that sort of plays with you, because you're so in love with comedy, and you kind of know how the jigsaw pulls together occasionally. I don't know whether that's something that you think that way about comedy.
No, I do. I probably do. Yeah, I mean, I probably do. I would have looked at Father Ted and went, "That's a really good one." I did Killinascully for 5 years.
Yeah.
I wasn't crazy about it myself.
So you wrote 5, I think. What would you?
But I wrote
2, and then you co-wrote 5. Was it
I wrote 2, 3. I'd say 3 that were really fully mine.
Right.
And then I co-wrote on the other, another few on the last series.
Right.
And what was I going to say there? What am I talking about? I'm saying, do I
like what's good and what's not good, and
look,
is it maybe it's all the same?
Sometimes you gotta just take the work. I mean, maybe you're. Killinascully was good. It was really good.
Well, it had 1 million viewers and all that kind of stuff out of a population at the time of 4 million. So you're hitting a big audience, and maybe that's all that's necessary. Like this Ricky Gervais extra thing about struggling between what's popular and what's kind of BBC Two and what's BBC One. This eternal thing for a creator to be proud of the work and
well, at least you're creating something. Whereas then there's always the other temptation to be pulled into the reality TV world, because I did one of them. I did Celebrity Come Down with Me, and I think that's when you start going, what am I doing? What am I doing? This is not what I set out to do.
My souffle's a mess. I'm standing here with a crew who don't like me.
Getting stressed out about the fact that you might look like an idiot on a reality TV show.
Yeah.
And then you have to say, no, hang on, where did we start here? This is not what I wanted to do.
Right. Well, I will say that your stand-up, and certainly the show in the Well was terrific, and that sense of achievement on that front, where you are totally in control. There's no kind of producer saying, well, we should go left a little bit here rather than go right. We'd like you to look this way, look that way. Yeah. And is that something that is a kind of a struggle always to be satisfying yourself, because you are the producer and the writer and the director and the performer and all that?
Well, with stand-up, I get to control. Okay, perform it. I'm totally in control. But I have no problem doing the collaborative thing as well. And improv is what I'm doing on this show. Yes. And that's total collaborative.
With young Mannion and Kehoe. And
Sharon, Mannion and Danny Kehoe. And it's brilliant. I love doing it.
Yeah.
I've done improv with the group in the International Bar for years now. I've guested with Steve Frost and the Improv All-Stars at Glastonbury. Did some gigs in the Middle East with them as well. And at the Lecture Picnic, the Galway Festival. It's so much fun because you don't know what's going to happen. You're in a group and you end up laughing as much as the audience.
Right, because it's all new to you too.
It's all new to, what other people are doing. And it is really, I would probably do it full time if I could.
Right.
Yeah, improv.
But that idea too, that I remember when I guess it was around the time of Dylan Moran's Perrier win, just that comedy was the new rock and roll, and and every Irish comedian that came down the pipe was a new Elvis. There was a real sense that we had the world at our feet. Now it might be a bit more, you know, like it's the new kind of soft rock or something. I'm not exactly sure what's going on, but it's certainly part of the mainstream, and people go out for a night of comedy as much as they would go to the cinema, and it's not, you know, it was quite odd back then to almost, you had to be a certain kind of fan to do it. But now it's very much mainstream, isn't it?
It is. It's not as cutting edge.
Right.
It's not, and it is a bit weird that you're becoming so mainstream, and also it feels weird to me being looked at as more mainstream because I'm a white heterosexual middle-aged man.
Well, you say that, but
yeah, but do you know what I mean? Well, I'm 3 of them anyway. But because you feel like you just but that happens to everybody. Everybody.
Punk,
they start
punk becomes classic rock, and rock and roll becomes classic rock. Everything becomes classic rock. Even when Bowie was freaking out parents and being, you know, bisexual or an alien, it's now FM radio. It's not the shock has to naturally bleed into the mainstream.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So I think comedy would, as much as it was, you know, relatively new to an Irish audience, maybe because it's been around obviously for a long time, but naturally just becomes kind of, I know what happens here. I'm not shocked anymore. It's all But it is. I think it's one of the rare kind of occasions where you can literally say and do anything. You know, obviously within music there's a little bit of, you know, that possibility too. But comedy is literally a conversation, and within that, anything's possible.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and like from 20 years doing it, I kind of learned how to bring in stuff that's a bit controversial without losing the audience. Right. Or most of the audience. You probably lose some of the audience. Yeah. So, but I think it's still a responsibility to push the boundaries a little. Yeah.
Well, and obviously the bottom line is that it's people laugh, and that people kind of step out of there.
It has to be the
feeling
bottom
a lot
line.
Better. Yeah. Well,
that it's a good night out.
Well, I think so. Yeah.
But it's entertainment / art.
There you go. But you don't want to go. You don't want to be just, you know, Krusty the Clown. You don't want to just play. You know, just not care and play the hits, so to speak. And it's nice when you push yourself a little bit out beyond the comfort zone. And would you have, I don't know, people that you look up to? You mean Louis C.K. believes in this idea that you take the best material and keep putting it back at the start to force yourself to work on the other material that you know isn't necessarily closing material. All this, you know, these sort of...
I know, he does that where he puts his new material at the end. It's incredible.
He tries to make himself not frightened but pushing.
He is so good. It's just... I know he's having a hard time at the minute, but he was really... He is like... When people are that good, they make it look easy. Yeah. It's not that easy.
But I was talking to Pat now, and there aren't many, you know, kind of hugely sort of would say cutting edge or just sort of, you know, comedians or even work that's sort of knocking them out. Like, you know, you mentioned the detectorists, I should say, being particularly sweet, but there's no kind of Father Ted right now. There's no kind of comedian thinking, oh, like, he's just on fire. You can't get better than this guy. But I mean, that just happens in music, but certainly it seems in comedy. It's sort of out. There's a lot of stuff out there, a lot of good sitcoms and all that, but nothing particularly.
Yeah, and you know, I mean, it's probably to do with the fact that TV's gone through a big change, and no one knows where you're watching stuff. And
well, the choice is huge now too, and you know, Netflix obviously has a huge impact on people's habits, and you know, there's whole kind of, it's almost like everything's a cult.
Netflix has, and YouTube would as well, would have kind of brought down the attention span, and obviously, and even when people are watching TV, they're probably glancing to their phone every now and then.
You almost have to taser right. You have to, everything has to be a taser effect. Everything's turning into Michael Bay, where something has to happen every 10 to 15 seconds. That makes people look up and go, oh. Yeah, everything's a trailer. We'll cut this down to 15 seconds, by the way. This
of course, so none of this will be in the interview. But look, I think it'll come around. You know, all these new technologies have to bed in. I see, like, my daughter is 16 and she's ordering magazines online now that people are printing, and they're not being sold in shops. You have to order them online, and they're culture magazines. They give you a playlist and fashion and stuff, but they're like ID or Face magazine. But
see, people want the vinyl in the world still. They want that feeling of this is related to the actual production of the art, and the art itself is, you know, vinyl in itself is just an art form for people. Really, they want to celebrate the work and the sleeve work and all that, and it is tactile, and it's sort of almost anti-internet. It's almost like
well,
saying,
yeah, because if you buy the album, I think everyone will figure this out eventually. If you buy something, if you made the effort to purchase something, then you put more effort into listening to it.
Sure.
And if you do that, you get more out, and then the music doesn't have to be so instantaneously catchy.
Not disposable to them. And the disposability of music now is kind of worrying, because people don't necessarily listen to B-sides or listen to track 4 or anything like that. It's just whatever song they instantly like, that's the one they keep, and everything else goes out the window. So different. Now we should just finish with the improv night itself. This is happening on 3rd of March. I don't know whether there could be an argument made for improv is really because you're just too lazy to write new material. Is that part of the improv appeal?
Well, no. Obviously, I'm not saying it is, but it's. Look, I'll tell you, it's like it's a very Buddhist thing. It's something that will never happen again. You will see.
Nice.
You know,
unless it's really funny, then you remember it and use it somewhere. But yeah, I think
we never do though. We never do. We always go. We should record the shows. We're coming up. We never do that. We never do it. So.
There you go. So it's a very unique experience. It is a sort of anti-internet again. It's not like you can just play it whenever you feel like. It's not on demand. It's once only.
It's going to happen that night, and that's it.
Beautiful.
The magic of that night.
Rock and roll.